You're about to see half an hour of Sven boring me with Transformers. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. Hi and welcome to Geekology. I'm David.
I'm Sven.
And tonight on Educating Dave, we are doing more comic books.
Yes.
Okay, so the official title for these are Transformers: The Definitive G1 Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who have not already seen any of these, this is the clever bit. They tell you the issue number here. That's for the comics on the inside, where the collector book issue number is there. Not at all confusing. Now, Sven has little girl hands and no nails, so I'll just open them. Okay, come on then, bore me about comics.
Issue 27 is in fact volume 44, which puts it smack bang in the middle of IDW.
Your favourite of the comic companies?
It could be worse, it could be Dreamwave. Anything Dreamwave ever did that I thought was actually good. Well, two things. War Within stories, but that wasn't Dreamwave writing it, it was basically Brits.
Okay.
And Brits drawing it, if I remember rightly. And then there was the whole, this is the actual Ultra Magnus robot. From out when he's the Ultra Magnus armour got damaged so much that the White Prime actually came out. And it was the only time it's ever happened in any of the fiction.
Oh right, okay.
So yeah. It's never happened on TV, it's never happened anywhere else, so yeah, that was quite cool. But when IDW rebooted the Magnus character, they've actually created a different figure that fits inside, who's actually basically a Micromaster. So it splits away from the whole, it's Prime's brother thing, or Prime's fuselateral sibling, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, this is All Hail Megatron Part 2. We've already done All Hail Megatron, I think.
Yes.
Yes. So there we have artwork of Prime and Megatron. Now, I'm going to have to admit, I know nothing about this story.
So, thank you very much for watching. You can subscribe to... No?
So we'll just flick through. Apparently there's an All Hail Optimus as well coming, so that'll be fun. But the artwork looks just reasonably good.
Keep that pace up with the waving of the fine chemical fumes.
Yes.
They really are pungent, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, it's been under plastic, hasn't it, since leaving the factory, so yes. And then we noticed things like the Generations versions of the character design.
Yes, I totally noticed that.
Yes, you clearly did. That's a bit more like a traditional Optimus, which is quite nice. And Megatron, looking like Megatron, and so on and so forth. This is why we're having to treat these as unboxings rather than trying to say we're doing the review, because
we can't review them. That would involve him reading them. He doesn't want to do that until the last issue arrives. Remind me that on the week before that, I'm ill that month and can't do videos. I'm just no. I don't want to see your bloodshot eyes as you've read them, because you'll do what I do with Netflix and just power read through them, won't you? I know everything.
Yeah, okay. So I have 1 week of going through this lot, and I have a week of making my models, and another week of this lot. So on and so forth. Because I've got so many AMT kits I've got to do when I retire.
Wow, that violin can barely be heard.
Yes.
Do we have copyright for the music? Are we allowed to use that violin music at the saddest tune just for you? No. Okay.
But yeah, that's I'm looking forward to reading this, because this actually looks quite cool. Oh God, what have they done here?
What's wrong with Prime's head?
Oh, we've suddenly gone into is this Spotlight? This is a Spotlight or something, because no, it doesn't say. Ugh, old days, it says it's called. It's like, what's going on with Prime?
That is really hideous.
No, that's hideous. This whole over. No, okay.
Well, I have to say this has been one of the most informative educating days thus far in our collection. Oh damn it! I had to open my mouth. I had to say, I'm just going to shut up.
Why would you do the toy style head and then give him the wrong colour eyes? Why?
Oh, it's madness.
Why?
It's madness. Why would you do these things? I have to say, it's much harder to do these videos sober.
Alas, poor Stunstreaker. What happened to you, dude?
I guess in a, year and a half's time, you'll get to find out.
Possibly.
How long is this collection going on for, by the way?
Well, this is the thing, is IDW is still publishing comics. So, it's forever going backwards. If it sells well enough, they'll just keep going.
Talking about collections going out of control.
Yeah.
I had to readjust my shelves for my starships. What number are they going up to so far?
Officially, we're going to 160 now, I think. It's either 150 or 160. 150 is the definite official. 160 is semi-official. It's
going to be 180, isn't it, with extras.
Some people are still expecting it to go to 200 for the basic.
Yeah.
And then you have the specials, the bonus specials, and the XLs, and the Discovery. And
yeah, I'm not doing the XLs, I'm not doing Discovery.
And they may yet do a mega special, we don't know.
Oh.
At $99.99, because that's where the Doctor Who really big stuff is. Like,
what really big Doctor Who stuff could they possibly have? A Dalek?
They just do a really big Dalek, a really big Cyberman.
Are they worth it?
They don't look it to me, but I'm not
yeah, okay.
the right person to ask, I would suggest.
It'll be the D and the A, won't it, if they do them?
Well, they've only done the XLs for those. I mean, the A's, the pictures of the A are kicking around, which looks. They've actually got the nacelles right. Shame about the saucer. But the nacelles are right.
Oh, they do it in parts.
Yeah. So that's quite cool. Let's put that one back down. This one I know.
Oh. See, I thought it was getting away easy. I did.
Well, this is issue 28, volume 20.
Right, so this puts us back into the Marvel version of Transformers. Right, okay.
This is in fact the era where the American comic was being written and drawn by Brits.
Nice.
Because
does that mean you get the little shorts in there as well?
Oh, let's have a look. What have they popped in here? I think it's literally... Oh, no. It's got all of Earth Force.
Is this a good issue?
If this has got Earth Force in it, it'll be coloured Earth Force. Because Earth Force was ever black and white in the comics.
Why was it black and white in the comics?
Save money, because the comic was struggling to stay afloat. Mind you, Marvel UK was struggling to stay afloat at the time.
Yeah, so they published a load in black and white.
Yeah, basically there was... The first few pages was the reprints from the States, so that was colour. The centre of the comic was black and white. And then you had colour reprints of either an old story or Action Force or something like that for that period.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So this is... Well, let's get excited issue.
Yeah, this is... let's have some colour where we never had it before. So, end of the road.
Oh, the bad jokes. So many unairable bad jokes. Just, I'm in pain.
Now, we do have a question here, because we're starting with end of the road, which is the end of the story. Which is the end of G1. So, that suggests that Earth Force happens afterwards. Which doesn't make an awful lot of sense. But Earth Force kind of has to have its own continuity, because the way it was written, because it was written as a sort of like a side story, but in the main stories the characters who were in Earth Force were in different places.
Okay.
So where it fits in the timeline is difficult, and how it fits in the timeline at all is also difficult, bearing in mind that the British comic and the American comic ended up having to be in separate timelines or universes anyway, because Bumblebee got killed and resurrected in different ways. So, but yes, here we go. Oh, there's a slightly knackered Megatron. It's the year 2005. Megatron is dying. Megatron gets reformed into Galvatron. We know this. And now Galvatron, which is an alternative universe Galvatron.
Have they confirmed who's doing the new Transformer films?
Oh, they haven't even confirmed they're doing new Transformers films.
Oh, they are.
Technically.
They're definitely.
They definitely are. Bumblebee, the Bumblebee movie will be the last one of the current era. And then it's getting reset. Most people are taking that to mean rebooted. But by reset, apparently they're looking, even though they've done this whole exercise that cost them millions to work out a Hasbro cinematic universe that would allow the crossover of things like ROM and Visionaries and Mask and Transformers, it's all been thrown away. There's still a ROM movie coming. There's still a Visionaries movie coming.
Why did they want to do... There's enough of that going on. They didn't need to do that.
Hasbro wanted to do...
Shiny Thing.
Shiny Thing. So, here we have Galvatron beating up Megatron and then realising that's a really bad idea. Yes. Smell that print. We now have a Ratchet who has been separated from Megatron because of previous incidents. Thinks he's separated and realises he isn't.
Okay, you evidently haven't educated me well enough to understand why Megatron and Ratchet are joined.
Right.
Why are they joined?
Basically...
The fused, or...?
They fused together. Ratchet sacrificed himself to try and destroy Megatron by throwing him into an explosion.
Right.
But he actually went through the explosion, fused them together and then put them through a portal.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah, so basically their bodies got fused together. Now Fix-It managed to, who was a Micromaster doctor. Fix-It is, he transforms a little micro ambulance. He managed to separate the bodies, but apparently their minds got stuck together.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then somehow Ratchet knows what Megatron's doing and Megatron knows what Ratchet's doing, basically. And you end up with...
No, they save a fortune in adult cinemas.
A little bit of radium and take your head clean off. Right. The server bots have their torso plates missing. If you get what I mean. That's actually from Beast Wars. I actually said that in Beast Wars. It was
it's just wrong.
Trap. Speaking to
it doesn't matter.
Cheetor.
It's still wrong.
It's very wrong. It's like, okay. Yeah, so we have Ratchet basically pummels Starscream because he's channeling Megatron. All this stuff going on. And then we have the last Autobot stuff going on, which is basically Fort Max. A lot of this actually gets picked up in the G2 comic.
But it isn't classed as G2.
No, it is G2.
Oh, it is.
Because this is G1.
Okay.
But then IDW did Regeneration 1, which sidesteps G2. So you end up with two different universes spanning off from this in the end anyway. So one of them could be the British comic and one could be the American one. I just don't know.
Okay.
So Earth Force might fit into one of them. I don't know. It's very confusing. It started getting splintery, to say the least.
As long as it doesn't get Ralphie or Donatello-y.
Or Michelangelo. Right, so we have the Decepticons laying waste to a world and all this kind of stuff going on. Mental Galvatron, because, that's new. Get to the point where Galvatron's actually pulling wires out of Fort Max with his teeth.
Yeah, you see what scrap wire goes for these days.
Neo Knights are kicking around. Right, end of the road. They've managed to wake up the last Autobot, could be one of the Primes.
How many last Autobots are there? There seem to be a few.
Oh, this one's most definitely the last Autobot. Look at his head.
Okay.
Yeah. They have written it in that he's, in some versions of the 13 Primes, he's one of the 13 Primes. But, yeah. And then we go into End of the Road, which is the very last story, where the Decepticons are laying waste to a planet. The Autobots have gone down to try and stop them. They're having their asses kicked. The Decepticons are basically laying waste, just putting down Autobots left, right and centre, threatening to kill them, so on and so forth. And look who turns up to save them from the dead.
I would never have guessed. It's another Prime.
It's an Optimus Prime. It's Action Master Optimus Prime. Yeah.
If I ask this question, is it going to be a half-hour explanation?
No.
What? Go on.
Transformers that don't transform. Or, as some of the people say, how to kill a toy line.
Transformers that don't transform.
Yeah, they came with partners vehicles.
I know how you felt about that.
I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
No.
Made for nice busts and statues, though.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting that the last Autobot kind of transforms into something that could be seen as being very Vector Prime-ish from later series.
Okay.
So I don't know whether Vector Prime actually started the last Autobot. That would make sense to me because of this whole...
What's a Vector Prime?
Vector Prime is one of the 13 primes, and he's a prime who has the ability to time travel.
Nifty.
Like Micronus is the first of the Micromasters and all this kind of stuff they put together, or Minicons or whatever you want to call them, depending on your era. And this Optimus Prime is apparently high Q. He's binary bonded, Nebula partner, reconstructed into Optimus Prime, which answers no questions about what's going on here, because there's now technically been 3 different Optimus Primes. Because the original one got blown up, put back together and put into a casket and blasted into space with the Matrix still in there. They find the
Why did they bother putting him back together?
It's to honour him or something, I don't know.
Okay.
And basically that was blasted into space with the Matrix inside. They had this whole Matrix quest thing to go and find it, and it was Power Master Optimus Prime who ended up finding it via the Deathbringer. But Power Master Optimus Prime wasn't actually Optimus Prime.
Deathbringer.
Oh, it's it was supposed to be a mercy killing thing that would go to planets where they'd been ravaged by
Germals.
Right, it was basically originally it was supposed to go to planets and cure them. Then it got corrupted and the Matrix got involved, and it ended up going around killing planetfuls of people because that was the only way to cure the planet.
Well, it would definitely cure most planets. No, it's that's a logic I'm 100% behind.
But yeah, Power Master Prime was actually just a robot that had been built on Nebulous, and apparently the original Optimus Prime had been saved onto a 5¼ floppy disk, which was then inserted into this robot to give him life. And that was what Power Master Prime was. Quite. And now you've got the binary bonded Power Master character.
I don't know why, but I really want a 3.5-inch floppy that you just pull out the corners and pull out other bits, and it turns into a mini Prime going, "Hi, I'm the OS."
They've done a power bank. There's also a mobile phone style Optimus, neither of which I have. I'm in no hurry.
I don't know, actually. I quite like the idea of a transforming power bank.
Anyway.
So it transforms from a robot into a brick.
Anyway, Optimus goes in, saves the day. He's using...
In all fairness, I did like the MP3 player and the earphones.
Yeah.
I did like those.
Soundwave did rock. And then we've got a cover gallery from the original American comic. We got better covers. As usual. And then a little bit about It never ends. No, it doesn't. There's an Action Master Grimlock.
Yep, that's an Action Master Grimlock.
And we move into the UK comic 261 to 289, which is the Earth Force stuff, which has never been in colour before, so this is glorious. And we this bit from Prowl. Basically, Prowl and Wheeljack are basically moaning about all of these new types of Transformers that are running around. Now you've got Transformers with little men for heads and guns, Transformers without humanoid shells, Transformers whose engines are little men, double Target Masters, Micromasters. I get a headache just thinking about it. So yeah, there we go. And there's Wheeljack going. Prowl and Wheeljack are basically climbing up the side of a cliff. And run into Megatron as a result, but Prowl's like, we should find the answer up here, and Wheeljack's like, big deal, it's probably some micro head Target Master with a Predator shell. It's like, how they got this past Hasbro, I have no idea.
Somebody has a sense of humour.
Yeah. But yes, it's basically these two Autobot cars versus half a ton of Decepticons, so that's going to go well. And then the rest of Earth Force get involved. So in from the Dinobots. Yeah. And these are all 5-page stories basically. They're fun. They're fun little stories that basically worked in. I mean, this one, there was a suggestion that Devastator could no longer combine. So they build a Devastator Action Master, basically. Yeah. This is quite funny.
Yeah. Why?
Basically, Grimlock's taking the mick out of the Autobot code. And literally, I think he ends up throwing it out into the snow. Yep, literally throws it out into the snow and ignores it from that point onwards. We've got Jazz and Sunstreaker dealing with chickens.
Why? That'd be a foul story.
Yes. And is this Grimlock dealing with a snowman himself or something? Yeah, there we go. Oh no, it's a snowman of Shockwave, April Fool. That's a very snowy April. I think it's in the Antarctic, to be fair. Oh, and Grimlock goes back to Earth Force Base and loses it. To the point where I actually put the sensor over its head. It's quite funny. But yeah, there's basically loads of story and this glorious colouring. I mean, it's just a revelation seeing this in colour for the first time because, as I said earlier,
it's always been black and white.
Bad Guys Ball. They're basically the two. There's two factions of Decepticons under Megatron and Shockwave, and they're actually trying to organise some form of Glasnost, basically. And it ends up with, I think it's Starscream and... am I thinking of another story? I think Soundwave and Starscream was trying to drop them in it or something. I don't know, I can't remember. It's been a long time. Living Nightlights. Cry Wolf. Oh, that's quite cool. Yeah. Oh, that was always atmospheric in just black and white, but that's glorious. Just don't mess with Carnivore. Wolf in the Fold, because he's literally going to wipe you all out. It's just glorious. Secrets. It's more of the two different Decepticons. Oh, hello. Ooh. 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 Bugger. It's not being done very well. There we go. How many pages are like that? Not being finished quite right. Oh, and that's only right in the corners, that's fine. So going through it, there's basically a load of really fun, those short
little stories.
For the first time in colour, and that's just great. And there's a lot of Dinobots, a lot of the very early characters, because what was happening with the toy line at the time is that, unlike the States, we were getting reissues of the original toys in the Classics range, which the States weren't getting. We were getting them, Canada were getting them, some of Europe was getting them.
Was there a packaging deviance between?
Yeah, they were in gold packaging.
Okay.
Which are now some of the most sought after collectibles for American collectors.
Because they didn't get them.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is when you open them up, you realise that the Takara part of the copyright stamping has been gone over.
Glazed.
It's basically been blocked out. And the reason is these production runs of these toys were being done at the same time as a Chinese release officially by Hasbro in China, which was the first time they'd been officially released in China rather than being copies.
Yeah.
Which confused the hell out of a load of collectors in the West, because what seemed to be copies were coming into the West's markets through grey importing and looked basically like the original, because those were all in original packaging.
Right.
So it looked like a load of toys had gone from the US and the UK in like 84, 85, 86 over to China, had stickers put on
and
as they were and then sent back. But they were actually stuff that was supposed to be available in China. And it was basically the British or an American packaging, but with a sticker in the corner saying Chinese version of the name.
Now I should imagine that those would be the collectible ones. Not so much.
The problem is that it wasn't until about 10 or 15 years later that people realised what they were.
Oh, okay.
They all thought they were copies. So they were basically ignored and not picked up, even though some of the things that they released were glorious.
Okay.
But it was interesting because it was basically one of the toys they did was Megatron. The original Megatron. Now obviously that being released in the UK officially was never going to happen at that point because we were past some of the changes in the gun laws, but some of them came over as great imports.
Okay.
So they ended up in like discount
Because
stores.
I remember Megatron as a toy gun.
Yeah.
I had one as a gun.
Hey, some of them
It never got transformed.
Yeah.
It stayed as a gun.
And those the Megatrons.
And my Soundwave stayed as a...
The Megatrons ended up in discount stores because the mainline retailers didn't want to go anywhere near them because they were coming through a company called NBC and a couple of other places. But then Woolworths got involved and spoke with Hasbro Asia and got clearance from Hasbro UK, and they actually brought over some of the... So we basically got this weird situation where Woolworths was bringing over stuff in association with Hasbro Asia with Hasbro UK's permission. And it was a weird time to be a British collector because you had the gold package classics kicking around through the normal retail channels.
Yeah.
You had Overlord, which wasn't released in the States, but was generally available. Countdown was only available through Woolworths. And then suddenly all of the original package stuff started turning up. But it went further than that because it was things like the mini Autobots were back out in this packaging, and then we started finding things like the Constructicons, which had never been released in the UK before, and then the Autobot cassettes, which had never been released in the UK before, and people were literally running around trying to find these things. And some Fort Maxes came into the country, which looked like they came to this, but they didn't have the Chinese stickers on. So it was like, basically, so British
bad time for
collectors-
the internet not to exist.
Yeah, but basically British collectors went crazy for that. And this lasted for several years, and of course RG1 didn't actually end until '93 with Pyro and that kind of character. So it's a and the classics range had actually started in '89 and went all the way through till G1 got cut off because we never had a break. We went from G1 straight into G2, no break.
The Americans did though.
Yeah, basically Action Masters killed it. They didn't have any of the reissues happening. So once the Action Masters, the first wave of Action Masters killed the line.
Yeah.
We even got a second wave of Action Masters where they had the Elite Action Masters, which were Transformers that could transform again. So, yeah. So this is why we've got all of these classic characters are in these stories, because they were being reissued as classic toys.
Okay.
Interacting with more recent characters. But you could tell what toys had literally just come back out because they were the ones who were taking centre stage, and all of the sort of like newer characters that toys were actually coming off sale will be becoming background characters again, or becoming targets, as it were. So that was quite cool. But yeah, and then so you've got this very rich sort of like base of little stories involving fan favourite characters, which is why, even though they were black and white stories, this kind of kept the comic going, because the British comic reached issue 332.
Yeah.
Which was amazing for a licensed comic based on a toy line. Whereas the American comic...
Not commenting about the real Ghostbusters there at any point.
Yeah, but that was based on a movie that then became a cartoon series.
And then the toy line, okay.
The toy line was...
Yeah, no,
this you got to bear in mind,
comment.
Transformers started as toys and
Yeah.
then became everything else. And then we've got some of the...
Well, so did My Little Pony, and we don't rave about those. Yeah, it's my own stupidity.
yeah, it is. And then we have the cover gallery of
Care Bears?
stuff.
They started as
And they were
toys.
staring. Yeah, but they didn't last for 332 issues of a comic, did they? No. That was my point. Muppet.
Am I a man or am I a Muppet?
Muppet.
Then I'm a Muppet of a man.
But yes, yeah, that's the British version of the Final Cut cover. But yeah, another time.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're holding a book that has the reissue of the Final Cut in it, and they didn't cut the pages.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
It's almost as bad as eagle moss. There we go.
Saying nothing. Saying
Yeah.
nothing. Okay, so, yep, I consider myself a little tiny bit more educated.
Educated.
Yeah, it's gripping.
Continuing on with the subscription.
You were going to continue on with this subscription regardless.
It's all G1. I can't stop myself.
Yes. Very much for watching. Why? I have no idea, but thank you very much for watching. You can subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can follow us, on Facebook, yeah.
Twitter.
There's Twitter.
There's Flickr as well.
Yeah. There's all that stuff.
Hi.
Good night.
Bye.
Hi and welcome to Geekology. David wants to top himself tonight.
Right. How to get thrown off YouTube?
Yeah. I was just saying that was really
Actually,
it was
no. That's the
really
way
funny, but-
not to get thrown off YouTube. Apparently,
You are.
the guy who did the
I
whole
thought you got kicked off.
and allowed back on and did more dodgy videos afterwards.
Oh, you're joking.
And then, but everybody else paid the price.
After screwing it up for the rest of us. Yeah, that's nice. Well, let's try some video footage you can use, shall we?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Hi and welcome to Geekology. I'm David.
I'm Sven.
And tonight we're going to prove why Sven needs mental care. I was going to go with mental health and no, it doesn't.
And you changed your mind halfway through
Yeah,
trying to say H.
Yeah. Hi and welcome to Geekology. David's tried not to make bloopers.
Failed.
Yeah, failed.
But bear in mind that the more weight I can put behind it and the smaller surface area to break.
You could take out walls.
I'm aware.
Sorry, that really came across. But let's re-edit that bit. 3, 2.
He's not at all rude.
You can tell we've been friends for too long. It's shit. Hello. Is it num time?
Yes.
Okay.
Audio break. Nom.